Tony Hawkins has got a podcast. I hope he's better at this than he is washing the kit, because he was fucking useless.
So number 22?
22.
22.
Happy New Year to everyone.
22 people. What's 22 divided by 7, John?
2 little ducks. That's what that is. Maggie's Den, 2 little ducks, Tony.
Or what is 22 divided by 7, also known as?
A prime number, Tone, I'm guessing. I don't know.
No, it's not a prime number. 7's a prime number.
I'm ever so tired.
I am very tired.
Shut
22 divided by 7 is pi.
Oh, pie, the old pies,
3.1.
You like a pie, don't you,
We
Tony?
love a pie. We love all sorts of pies.
Pies, Tone.
So we have got...
Loads, 5 games to talk
Is
about.
it 5?
It's Gillingham,
Blimey, Gillingham,
Southend, Portsmouth,
Bristol Rovers,
Bristol, and Newport
and
County.
Newport County.
God, it's a lot, isn't it?
It is. So I'll do... shall I do Gillingham as I was there?
We got a match report from that, didn't we?
Did we? Yes, we did, yes. So I'll do that first then.
I marked them as unread on the thing so you could see them.
So we just to point out, we didn't get any match reports for Southend.
We didn't, so we didn't go.
We won't be doing a lot of talking about that. Yes, also, that reminded me, do you remember we had Matthew Thorne's question on the last show?
Not really.
Which was...
that was last decade, Tony.
Thoughts on the following comments from Carl after the game, after the Oxford game.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that now.
We spoke so long about that, we actually forgot to answer his second question.
Oh, right. Oh, that's coming up later on, Matthew.
So, and this is Gillingham related as well. So we'll do this very quickly. There have been some whispers and rumours floating around that we might be one of a few clubs looking at Cisse in January, as he seems to be out of the picture at Gillingham. I think we do need a deep holding midfielder, so would you take him back or look at other options in that position? I wouldn't have him back.
I wouldn't have him back either.
No. Even as a replacement for Boateng, I wouldn't have him back.
I'd rather have none of the pair of them, to be quite honest.
So David Saunders was kind enough to send us a report for the Gillingham game. We appear to have played a 4-3-3 with Boateng in the middle of the 3 in the first half, and bizarrely Agard being hung out to dry on the left. Awful in the first, slow, dithering, and nothing created despite superior possession. This gave the impression the lead was against the run of the play at half time, which it wasn't. Much better in the second half, Boateng and Agard coming off at half time for Boa and Nombe. Got a goal back early enough to get something out of the game, but after a good save by Lee, someone clearly fell asleep and then we blasted the ball into the roof of the net. That was us done, despite creating a few decent chances, including a couple of good ground crosses, which no one gambled on. No team should lose by 2 goals with 75% possession. I can top that.
Written down that.
Yep, I can top that. Lose against Southend, and I think we will be building in January to get back out of League 2. So I saw it pretty much the same way. It was a very poor performance, very, very poor performance indeed.
I've made some notes while listening to it on the wireless, and
it just wasn't pretty.
It seemed there was too much passing about between us with nothing at the end of it.
There was, it was very much like that, having all the possession but not actually shooting.
I mean, it was such a long time ago.
It wasn't memorable. We deserved to lose in the end, really.
Like you say, we had 70. Well, I've put 72% possession, and we've done nothing with that.
Yeah.
They've just sat back and let us have the ball, aren't they? Thinking, well, these are just going to pass.
They did exactly what Tranmere did to us, Rochdale did to us. Let us have the ball because they know there's no real threat up front, which obviously has improved as we work through these games.
Gilby's goal was good. Remember it, like Gaza's from Euro '96 against Scotland.
Yes, he actually the first bit of control was fortuitous. It has to be said. But what he did after that, because that could have gone anywhere. It could have gone anywhere, but what he did afterwards was very nice. But the keeper, he'll be disappointed to have been beaten like that. But yeah, it was a great goal. And at that point, we thought, here we go. Let's have it. We're off.
Yeah, we
but it was a false dawn, as they say. And it just wasn't very good.
More poor defending as well at corners. I've written that down.
Set pieces again.
Cost us big time.
Our kryptonite. But... yeah, I mean it was a long time ago, really.
Seems to be away. Russell Martin did say it in his post-match interview from last night that away performances are costing us. He's not wrong.
I mean, not just away performances, but I know last night was a different thing altogether. But historically, and I saw your tweet about fuck off with your MK Dons.
That was Toby
way.
what was saying that.
I believe there is an MK Dons
That wasn't
way, and
last night.
part of that, sadly, is that we're shit away from home on Tuesday night when it's raining. To the point where one pre-season, do you remember we played Plymouth away it was on a Saturday, to be fair.
Trying to remember.
Carl did that on purpose because our record of travelling and staying overnight on long distance journeys was awful.
Right.
It did absolutely nothing to improve that.
So he's travelled on the same day.
He's travelled the night before to Plymouth, stayed overnight in a hotel, and then played a pre-season friendly. Because generally,
I remember the pre-season friendly.
Yeah, so pre-season friendlies will generally be reasonably local, so you don't have to go to hotels and that sort. But he did that deliberately to, try and give the players a bit of a precursor. But
didn't work that.
And it was a shit day. It was 0-0. It was fucking steaming hot. I had to travel for 4 hours in a car with Dan McCallum.
Oh dear.
But it didn't work, and I think wasn't there now I'm sure someone will remember, but there was a time where it had been something like 2 years since we'd won away on a Tuesday night.
I can't remember
north of Northampton or something like that.
Oh, goody, I'm ever so tired.
So
sorry.
Gillingham, not much more to say about that. And Southend, we didn't get a match report, but I did listen.
I have written some notes. I can go through them if you want.
It sounds like we couldn't hold on to a lead. No, pretty much.
And then there was the Walsh Nichols messing about at the back, to a goal. Didn't know what to pick
again. I'm
like the Old Chuckle Brothers. Tony.
This is all going to come together later on, but Joe Walsh is a much, much, much better footballer than that, and for him and Lee to make that mistake, it's just. I think those are the sort of things that Russell Martin has to and definitely will take out of the players, because there will come a point where they'll
know instinctively who's going to do what. Who's got which role?
Yeah, definitely Joe knows that. He'll know straight after he'd done it. He would have thought to himself, why was Lee coming for that? Why did I do that? I should have just hoofed it. If in doubt, we've said it so many times in the past few months. If in doubt, stick it out for a corner if you have to. Just get rid of it. But again, it's cost us a goal.
That has.
Facing our own goal, defender facing our own keeper has cost us another goal. And we couldn't hold on to the lead again. Do you know how many points they had to that at that point?
Well, they had 4, didn't they?
No, they had that took them up to 8.
Oh, right.
And 4 of those
4 of them
points
were against us.
They've won one game, and 4 of those points. They've now got 9, by the way.
Oh well, good luck to them.
Up to that point. Well, no, still up to this point. Right now, 4 points of those 9 they've got have come against us. So
not good enough. I've also written down we were lucky to come away with a point, which is very disappointing.
By the sounds of it,
what they were. That's just what they are at the minute, and what they were then. Now, that's what it is. That's it. We didn't go, so we can't talk about them.
Shall we move on to the good stuff?
Oh, the good stuff now. There's some good stuff before we get to the shit stuff from last night.
Last night's going to get an absolute pasting. So Portsmouth,
it was good. That
was very good.
I heard that guy with the bell, but I couldn't see him.
Yeah. So it was a bit weird actually, because they'd sold their allocation, and then a lot of them were coming in to the box office to buy their tickets before the game, which is what a lot of them said, not just one, but quite a few of them said, this is unusual for us to be able to buy tickets on the day. So they were very cagey, right? So one bloke comes up and he says, what an adult, please. And I said, yeah, no problem. I said, where do you want to sit? Oh, anywhere. Oh, are you an away fan? No. I said, if you're an away fan, I can sell you a ticket anyway now if you want one. No, I'm not. I said, all right, well, where do you want to sit then? He said, oh, as near to the away fans as you can get me. He stood there with his tracksuit top, and I went, you're wearing a Portsmouth shirt? And he went, I'm an away fan. I went,
idiot.
As I said, I couldn't. Aside from a few years ago, Coventry, when we played Coventry and they had that 7,900 and whatever it was, they almost got to 8,000. Those were the thickest fans I've ever encountered in my entire life. Coventry fans,
Tony,
by a mile, mate, absolutely by a mile. But Portsmouth topped that the other day. They absolutely topped that. Their fans. I can understand, because obviously they're generally in League One with the crowds being or the away allocations being much smaller.
Turn up to
it is unusual, but
Kingsmead or whatever.
Don't stand there and tell me you're not an away fan when you're wearing a
Portsmouth top.
So from the kick-off through to pretty much the end, I thought we were in control.
Yeah, superb.
Very, very good.
It was a good.
It's
good.
almost like a switch, isn't it? You know, it's like
we're
when hot and cold, on off. We can turn it on and do stuff like that.
Or else we're brilliant. There's no in between at the minute.
We go and do a Gillingham or a Southend or a Newport last night. But I just thought everything about that was
brilliant, especially
was
David
excellent.
Kasumu. I thought he was man of the match.
I thought Kasumu was
absolutely
excellent.
Brilliant.
Gilby again is becoming. I mean, I know he got player of the season last year.
Who's that?
Alex Gilby.
Oh right,
which
he's up for player of the month.
For me, was a little bit of a surprise. I have to say, I'm not going to lie. I thought it was a little bit of a surprise that he got it, but everybody seems to disagree with me. I thought it would be Lee or maybe I can't remember who it was now.
Someone else.
Yeah,
plays for
but
us.
Definitely not him. But no, fair play to him, and he has come on leaps and bounds recently. He's been very, very good indeed.
I mean, all three of those goals were brilliant. They just got better each. The next goal was better than the last one, and the last one was brilliant. If that makes any sense.
Healy should never have been allowed to do that turn.
No,
but even that took me by surprise. And
it was a good.
Because he was facing away from the goal. He had two defenders. He had one in front of him, but he was facing his own goal, if you know what I mean. He had one to his left who was sort of behind him. And he just literally turned, poked it in front of himself, and scored.
Good goal.
It was a very good goal. And its simplicity sort of belies how brilliant it was. McGrandle's finish.
Oh, it was a cracker, that.
Absolutely brilliant. I mean, he was given a lot of space.
Never ever do that again.
Yeah,
it was
it's just that he caught it. He caught it exactly right. It was curling away from the keeper.
Good goal, that.
Top corner. The keeper didn't even move.
Perfect goal.
Absolutely perfect.
That was a pick of the bunch for me. It really was.
But I think this is. I mean, Gilby's goal is an example of where this playing it around at the back can work. In that it draws their players in. That ball then can go out into the middle. Went to who played that ball through to him? Was it David Kasumu that played the ball?
I think it was,
or Sam. No, I can't remember, but I think it was Kasumu.
Yeah, it was.
Played that ball through, and Gilby is like shit off a stick from a standing start. I've been told that he's the fastest player from a standing start with a ball at his feet.
Really?
And that includes faster than Kieran Agard.
Well, good for him.
George Williams. He is incredibly fast, and he showed that. But the finish was beautiful, and the keeper will be very disappointed because it actually went between his arms.
I tell you what,
it didn't go over his arms. It
I've
went
just
between his arms.
That game was that referee made two horrendous decisions. I thought
he wasn't very good.
I didn't think I thought in the lead up to one of the goals was Kasumu went in 2-footed on someone.
No, you see,
and I thought,
but you look at that replay. You look at that replay, and I was
didn't even book him.
I was 10 yards away.
You would
from
have been nearer to it than me. I was
he was right in front of me.
Yeah.
Now, if you look where the ball went,
I can't remember. I just remember thinking, "Oh, son, what have you done?"
Yeah, the ball went backwards directly to Joe Walsh, I think, or it was a Dons player. Now, if that was a foul, it would have meant that David Kasumu didn't play the ball.
Oh, I'm just saying. I mean, at the time it looked. I thought
it did, but it was a strong
that
tackle. And in this day and age, you know, I think probably you're right. 7 out of 10 referees would have given that.
I couldn't understand.
But it definitely wasn't a foul. It absolutely wasn't a foul. But Katie Jacket was going mental about it. Absolutely mental.
I mean, I thought at the time, my initial thought was, "Oh, son, that doesn't look good."
But he has actually got the ball very cleanly, and he didn't even touch their player, so there was no argument about.
And then
the foul.
there was the strange back pass decision. I don't think that was a back pass, but
it was. Yeah,
I don't know, Tony. It didn't look
at the time.
I couldn't.
At the time, I looked at it and I thought, well,
I thought a back pass was deliberately passing it back to the goalkeeper.
Yeah, but it's all in the body language. And when you watch the replay, Joe was definitely playing that back to Lee, right? And I could almost see Joe wanted to scream,
Don't pick that
Don't
up.
pick it up.
No,
and Lee sort of looked at it and thought, Yeah, I'll probably get away with this.
He didn't.
He didn't, but no,
it was too close
really
to the goal. I mean, it was too.
We defended it well, and
I mean, it was far too close to the goal, really.
Yeah, that's one of the curses of that back pass rule.
I mean, it's good you've seen it differently to me, because at the time I just thought, oh mate, that's not a back pass.
No, I just
deliberately kicked that back, has he?
With their
That's what it is.
With the body language of players, I'm always going on about body language of players, but I could just tell that Joe knew it was a back pass, and he sort of. You could see him tense up as Lee was going towards it, and Lee was looking at it, and I thought, oh shit, he's going to pick it up, which he did, which is fantastic. So I'm just trying to think, what else have we got on the Portsmouth game there? It was just a very good performance, wasn't it?
It's an all-round good performance.
Again, everybody was buzzing. No one really expected us to...
Not to come away with a performance
with a performance like that, and 3 goals. Disappointed to let the goal in.
Later on, because that dropped us back into the bloody
there were a lot of groans.
Because I said
at
the time, I said, it'll be good to go into the new year out of the relegation zone. Oh, they've just scored.
Yeah. Well, talking of which, there was a 6-goal swing a few days later, because we, in our next game, went on to beat Bristol Rovers 3-0, and Tranmere lost 4-1. So that switched the goal difference exactly the opposite way. We went on to minus. Well, anyway, 6-goal swing, and took us above them. So I can't think of anything else to say about Portsmouth, really.
No, nothing. They were better than Bristol, who I thought we'll go into in a minute. But it was just a good performance, really. It was something I wasn't expecting to see from us. Not after the previous 2 games, especially not after the shit show that Southend was.
Toby tweeted something after the game. Great 3-0 win or something like that, which was greatly helped by taking their keeper out in the first 5 minutes.
I forgot about that. Yeah, their goalkeeper went off.
Because that replacement bloke, who by the way was their number 1.
Yeah,
well, at least
he had number 1 on his
shirt.
Yeah, but I did say to my lad, I said, yeah, but Willie had 13, didn't he? Or whatever, 12 or whatever it was. I said,
up until last night, I have rarely seen a goalkeeper have such a bad game.
Did you watch last night on Nigel?
I did, yes. I did. So yeah, that keeper came on, and
I forgot about him. I forgot he was something.
He was scratching the back of his kneecap with his arms. His arms were really, really long. And my dad compared him to. Do you remember Joe? What's his face? Used to play for Peterborough.
Joe Lewis.
Joe Lewis. Yeah.
He's at Aberdeen, or he was at Aberdeen.
Yeah. Do you know he's only 6'5"?
Is he?
I thought he was like 6'8" or something. So this fella was like as big as him, but twice as wide as well. And I thought,
he wasn't good. I forgot all about him.
He was fucking useless.
Appalling goalkeeper.
If he'd not to want to use his hands at all.
Having said that, I mean, our goals were good, so you couldn't. They were.
No, they were very good.
He wasn't a contributory factor to how good the goals were. No, because they were good goals. He just wasn't their number 1 goalkeeper, was he?
Well, is he or isn't he? Because.
He has got the number 1 shirt on, but this is nothing mean to say he's first choice.
No, I suppose so.
I don't know what to say. I don't know him. I mean, I'm interested in
So the goal's Healy again, and then Nombe's was where he broke through the middle. I don't suppose you saw what happened prior, or how that ball broke to Nombe, did you?
I don't remember it, Tony. It was a long time ago.
Weirdly, and I've noticed this creeping in, that was Louis intercepting a pass from one of their players in their last third.
Right. That's something they've worked on then, I'm assuming.
Yeah, and that broke to Sam, who then off his knee ran through and put it past their keeper. Again, that chasing down in that game was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. 3 players chasing down the ball at once.
Are we still talking about Portsmouth?
No, we're talking about Bristol Rovers.
That's what I was going to say, because we've moved on to Bristol line, haven't we?
Yeah. So that Healy goal wasn't the one we're talking about, was it? It was.
That was the last game. I'm confused now. You didn't say we'd moved on.
Healy against Bristol Rovers. I just cannot. Reece Healy's 3rd goal in as many games had MK. Blah blah blah.
What was the score?
Frontman Healy swiveled in the Rovers box to beat his marker before firing an emphatic left-footed strike. Continue. It was 3-0. I can't remember. I remember Nombe's and Agard's goal.
I do remember Kieran's, and I remember Sam's shit celebration when he stood with his arms crossed.
So I actually think we played slightly better in the Portsmouth game than we did the Bristol Rovers game.
I think
we had complete. Do you know what it was actually for me? It was a complete turnaround from Bristol Rovers away. I went to the away game at Bristol, and it was men against boys, and it didn't look that much different to that on New Year's Day because
Except it was us.
they looked so far out of their depth. And I just thought at some point it's all going to go wrong.
There was one point at 75 minutes where there was one of the blokes was chasing a ball down and just gave up. And I thought,
yeah.
And I said to my lad, I said, he's given up. Look, they've chucked it. They have. Look, they know they're done. They were I thought they were a poor team, to be quite honest.
They weren't very good at all, and I think maybe they were a little bit shell shocked at how well we came out and played. But they must have known. I mean, from the Portsmouth
they had a
game.
go, didn't they? Because like Nichols had a point blank save, didn't he, at 0-0 quite early on in the game.
Yeah, so
and
it was
I think after that
leg,
it was all us then, wasn't it? There was nothing that was quite literally for the rest of the game. It was us.
I thought that was going in. I really did. And then when Lee saved it, and also managed to get it a fair distance away.
And like you say, we didn't give them any time on the ball at all. We shut them down straight away. Absolutely, as soon as they get the ball, we were right on them, and they had no time to get their game going.
There was. I remember their left back receiving the ball from a keeper, I think, and then Sam Nombe, Alex Gilby, and Healy all descended upon him. And I thought that's what I want to see. Not just and that was at 3-0 up as well. I think
certainly made a difference.
Time. And a clean sheet.
Yes, that's a big. That was a big plus point for me. That
again, which helped towards that 6-goal swing on that day. So yes, out of the relegation.
Yeah, that's a big. Well.
Oh, actually, no. Do you know I haven't actually looked at the table since.
I think there was only one game played on Saturday, wasn't there?
Was there only one? Was it Sunderland?
Sure Sunderland played.
Yeah, so we won't have moved then, we won't.
I moved, I don't think.
Yeah, let's have a quick look. But yeah, I mean, Tranmere.
Raining now, look. Oh dear.
Yeah, it's absolutely hammering it. Tranmere 3 points behind, -16. We're on -10 and 24 points. We're on same points as AFC, 1 point behind Rochdale, and Rochdale have actually bizarrely got a worse goal difference than us. They're on -14 somehow. But what's even weirder is that Accrington, who are 17th, are actually in a plus goal difference.
Well, good for them.
Yeah, so that 6-goal swing helped us tremendously, and hopefully we can keep that going. But yeah, it's quite a weird looking bottom, sort of 6 or 7. So there's 6 points between us and Lincoln, who are in 16th. Looks like my prediction on Wickham's demise pretty much
I was going to say that.
Came true immediately, didn't it?
As soon as you said it, I forgot all about that.
I'm not even sure if they've scored a goal. Have they? Oh no, they scored 1 goal against.
I think they've had a draw, haven't they? Since they've lost.
Have a quick look.
And got a draw, I'm sure, because I remember thinking, bloody hell, they could actually. You could be right. They could drop out.
Yeah. So they lost to Oxford 1-0. They lost to Portsmouth 2-0. They lost to Coventry 4-1. And then they drew with Ipswich on New Year's Day. So
well, Tony, it could be right. It could be for the draw.
My predictions come true a little bit earlier than expected, but I'm sure they'll get back on form a little bit before they go back on another nosedive. But
yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, I think I still think I'm
you know?
right there. So I think Ipswich will recover. Maybe Sunderland get their asses into gear after we beat them on the 18th, obviously.
Hopefully.
Anything else to say about Bristol Rovers
no,
other than it was a thoroughly enjoyable game?
It was a good day, a good start to the good. That's not my door, is it?
No,
that's next door.
Not far enough.
2 doors.
Too close.
He will start in a minute, and I'll have to go out in that rain. But he's all right at the minute.
Yeah, so not a lot more to say about that.
It was a good way to finish off the year, or start the new year rather.
So 72%. You were saying earlier, 72%. How much last night? How much possession do you think we had?
How much did we have at Newport County? Do you think?
Yeah.
I'm thinking 70.
73%.
Yeah.
73% possession. How many shots do you think we had?
None.
None.
Hang on a minute. You keep going. I'm not sure if that is my door or if that's 2 doors down. You keep talking while I see if this is my door.
I'll tell you how many shots we had, shall I?
Yeah, go on.
24.
Really? Sorry.
24 shots.
Looking at
24 shots and
absolutely pouring a rain now.
And 73% possession.
And what do we do with that?
We lost 3-0.
Possession.
We literally gave them their goals.
Absolutely nothing.
Now I'm not going to say I watched the. I didn't realise it started at 7:30. So
no, I didn't.
I switched on shortly after they scored their first goal, so I didn't see that. But what I did see, unusually,
Stuart Moore. Did you see him?
Did you actually watch it?
No,
because there's something better than that. Every now and again, you get to watch a game where a player has such a bad game
that you're thinking
that is the worst game you're ever going to have in your career. So that's the only thing you can take from this, is that you could never play that badly again, right? Every now and again you see that.
Every now and again.
Every now and again. Last night I saw 2 players do it.
Oh, go on, name them, Tony, because they weren't. You came pretty close to naming
Stuart
some.
Moore was so. Oh, I don't even have words to describe it. But Baily Cargill, right? Baily Cargill, he was beyond shit.
Was he really?
He's gone. He's absolutely lost it completely.
Oh, that's a shame. Isn't
He
it?
tried to give them 2 more goals, but failed because their players couldn't finish. But one of the Stuart Moore ones was hilarious, because he came flying out 25 yards out.
I remember they said it on the radio. He didn't know what he was doing.
Yeah, the Newport player pushed it past him because he saw him coming from a mile away. Pushed it past him, and as he kicked the ball and followed through with his leg, Stuart Moore kicked this bloke's leg, obviously completely missing the ball. Realised that, oh fuck, fell to the floor like he'd been shot and got the free kick for it. And he did that more than once.
Maybe the ref just felt sorry for us.
Yeah, after
I felt sorry for us listening to it, I got to be honest.
I think it was the second goal from a corner where he sort of fumbled it and onto Matthew Sorinola, who then bounced off him and went into the goal.
Well, none of them had good games.
None of them had good games. Yeah. I mean, the only good thing to come out of that was that you could see the difference between our first choice players like Gilby and so on.
I mean, at one point I had it on, but I had the Manchester Derby on, but I had the sound turned down, so I was kind of watching it while listening. And at one point, when Luke Ashmead started yawning when he was doing the thing.
Well, there was a point because I was watching it.
They were struggling last night. They really were. Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't actually know how long Luke was talking for. And normally I would moan about that. Yeah. Right.
They were talking a complete load of shit last night.
But it wasn't until Luke himself pointed it out that they haven't actually been commentating on the game. They've been chatting idly about rating the super hunks of Hollywood or whatever. But it was such a bad performance. But I'd really like you to get a DVD of that game.
I'd like to
see
watch
that, because Baily Cargill was beyond shit.
That's a shame.
He was beyond shit. There was one back pass which went about 3 yards.
It's not like you, Tony, to criticise players. It really isn't.
This is why I've worn you down. This is why I'm actually thinking to myself, should I be saying this? But mate, he was beyond bad. There was a back pass, and I don't know. Moore was about 15 yards away. That was a terrible pitch. The rain didn't stop, and there was a wind, right? Yeah. And we know we don't enjoy those games. But he played this back pass, which went about 3 yards, and then didn't even bother chasing it to try and make up for his mistake. The Newport player nipped in and fucked it up, put it wide. But there was another one where he had the ball on his left foot. Right. By the touchline. So imagine this,
Baily
right?
Cargill, yeah.
Baily Cargill. So he's got the ball there on the touchline, on his left foot, right? So the touchline's to your left.
Yep.
It's parallel to your left leg.
I'm hugging it, Tony.
You're hugging it. You're on your left foot.
Right.
I don't fancy that because I've got no left foot.
Right.
So what I'll do is I'll turn round 4 yards away from my own goal on my own touchline,
facing,
and I'll try and play it back to my own keeper
with my right foot.
With my right foot.
Jesus,
right?
that's a bad choice.
Yes. Much better with my right foot than my left foot. So he turns around and he kicks it out for a corner.
That's a lack of confidence. So it's a lack of skill.
The only thing, like I said, with the Joe Walsh and the Lee Nichols goal at Southend.
Yeah.
Southend.
That, yeah.
Now, as I said, we know how good both those players are. Particularly Joe's a very good footballer for a central defender. He's a very good footballer. So. But Baily Cargill's confidence, or whatever it is, I don't know, it's completely shot. And it's just compounding his mistakes. It really is. And
he's not. I said it last year. He's not good enough. I'm sorry. Stuart Moore, he's just not good enough.
Stuart Moore was awful last night.
I mean, he's not good enough.
I don't know if is that a throwback to the mistake at Liverpool? Because do you remember when he came in briefly for that period under Tisdale?
He did all right then, yeah.
He did all right. Then he made a mistake, or a couple of mistakes, and Tisdale dropped him again and brought Lee back in and did the right thing. So, but last night, honestly, I've never seen two players have such bad games in the same game. I mean, I can't even begin to describe how poor Baily Cargill was and how it was it was. I can't.
Martin was quite frank in his assessment.
Apologetic,
He
even.
just said that, like these guys have had a chance and basically they've blown it. That's not what he said, but that was more or less what he said.
That's exactly what Luke and Toby said on the commentary as well.
I was thinking at the time that, like, Steven Gerrard did exactly the same thing. I think it was in a bounce game, and I was thinking to myself, I wonder if Martin played then, but I'm not sure if Russell Martin played under Gerrard at Rangers, but they did the same thing where they had like a game and he put all the fringe players out and ones that they were looking to get rid of, and I think by about the 24th minute there was about 6 of them already packing their bags, and I was wondering at the time if Russell Martin was one of them, but I'm not sure. I mean, I can't.
Well, no one has done himself any favours.
No, God, no.
Last night. I do think to a certain level, or a certain extent, I think that other players who are better than that performance last night were dragged down to that level. Players
I
like,
suppose it can. I mean, the pitch, that's a shit place to go. It really is.
David Kasumu didn't have a terrible game. Sam Nombe wasn't great, but again, we know how good these players are, and I don't want to put the blame squarely at the feet of those players who don't play regularly, but Baily Cargill was shit, Stuart Moore was shit, Ben Reeves was shit.
Yeah,
Ben Reeves did nothing, absolutely nothing. Yeah, he didn't. He was looking for that, where he does that sideways thing and then looking for the shot.
Just didn't work.
Didn't have the shot, didn't have anything, and it was very telling that it's a little bit scary that we haven't got that depth that we thought we had.
Yeah, I mean, it's an eye opener, to be quite honest, because you're thinking that, I don't know where they are in League 2, but they are in League 2. Yeah. I mean, I know we're just above it, to be quite honest with you, really technically, but we should be better than them. I mean, our second string. I mean, I've said it before, countless times on this podcast. The only time I'm going to get interested in that competition is if I have to queue up outside for a ticket for Wembley. I'm interested in that competition. It's a stupid, pointless competition.
It's great when you're in it, because you think it could be a day at Wembley.
I couldn't give a shit, to be quite honest with you.
Fair play, there's over 100 Dons fans
102. 102 you drove there on a Tuesday night, you fucking idiot.
Just under 800. I would have actually gone if I'd have got the time off at work, but I couldn't, unfortunately.
There.
Yeah. So let's... Shall we wrap up on the old games?
So overall, since the last time we spoke to you,
it's been,
I mean, I'd say, how many goals did we say we were going to score?
I'd say 60-40. Shall we go 60-40, good, bad and indifferent?
I'd say, I mean, last night, you can't take last night into it, to be quite honest.
No, the only thing we learnt from that was that the players who aren't squad
the French
regulars
players
are not good enough.
So
Boateng,
we learnt that.
Someone did say that they didn't think Boateng had a bad game, but he had no influence on the game whatsoever. He was very static the whole time.
Jordan Bowery, we ain't going to see that guy again, are we?
Well, this is. I was coming to that. It was mentioned about JMT last night.
Yeah, where's he?
I assumed he was injured, but apparently he's not. Jordan Bowery, and bearing in mind the purpose of last night's squad was to play the players who don't play. Jordan Bowery was not in last night's squad at all, and he hasn't been in the last 3 squads in total. He's not good enough,
that bloke.
He's gone, absolutely.
He's
gone.
Isn't he?
JMT, though, is a really interesting
that's
one.
A strange thing. I just assumed... I forgot all about him, to be quite honest.
He's...
I mean, unless... I mean... some managers just don't fancy some players. It could just be as simple as that. He just doesn't think he doesn't fit his philosophy of football. You don't know. We're speculating.
I'm thinking that we might not, but we might get to see a side of Russell Martin that a lot of people aren't expecting.
Yeah, a ruthless side.
The ruthless side, which is
this is his one chance at football management, Tony. If he fucks us up, he's not Carl Robinson. Yeah. No one's going to give him another job as a rookie manager, so he's got to be, he's not the friend any longer, is he?
No, he's not
their teammate.
The day that second he was made manager, he wasn't their mate anymore.
So he has to be ruthless. I mean, like, Jordan Bowery's just fucking appalling. I mean, he's shit. He is a shit footballer. He just is. He is, Tony.
I have to disagree, because he, by definition, can't be that shit to be playing in League 1, League 2 in England.
Right.
However, since he signed for us, the very second he signed for us, he has been utter...
He's been rubbish.
He's
not
shit,
good enough.
Bollocks, rubbish. Oh!
Hiram Boateng, I can't figure out.
I don't...
People were
him,
raving
I
about him at
can't-
the beginning of the season. I gave him the benefit of the doubt.
I mean,
but
he
just
seemed...
it's Cisse all over again.
Yeah,
and I know our
that's-
fans love Cisse, but as a footballer,
He's a player who flatters to deceive that guy. You think, he's one of those blokes that kind of hangs about and does nothing. You think, he's doing nothing.
but
he genuinely is doing nothing.
I think our fans like Aaron Boateng because they reminded them of Ous Cisse, who was also shit, by the way.
He was shit.
I don't care
what
what anybody says about Ous, and he did put a lot of effort in.
But he
Actually, no, he didn't. He didn't.
No, this is another one. It's like one of those players, like I said it ages ago, but Joey Barton, you think, he's the best footballer I've ever seen, because he done nothing. But, like that time we played them, he done nothing, Tony, right? But everything went through him, and he orchestrated the whole game, and you're looking at him thinking, you're doing fuck all, but you're... but they that pair genuinely don't do anything. Like, they're not like hanging about saying, well, you're doing something, but I can't see what it is. No, you're doing nothing because you're shit footballers. Yeah. That's what it is.
So I'm thinking, I think there's going to be numbers. I think there'll be more than people think.
Yeah.
And there'll be a few surprises.
Do you think Kieran will go?
I think if Kieran goes, it'll be because someone wants him.
I thought Salford City are in for him.
Well, we've now got 4 what you'd call proper strikers.
He's
without Kieran.
Oh yeah, I mean, right. So who have we got? We got
we've got Healy,
Sam Nomby.
My mind's gone blank.
So you said 4. He's not even in the top. This new guy we signed today.
Oh yeah, sorry, 4 with Kieran then, isn't it? Yeah,
that's what I thought.
I watched a bit of his video without wanting to judge too much. Looks good in the air.
I've never.
A few headers.
I was saying to my son, I don't remember him when he came here. I don't. He's not one that
played well against us, but
he's not one that jumped out. But
I never know it's away players.
I mean, I'm perfectly prepared to slag him off without even seeing him. Obviously,
absolutely. I mean, that's the MK Don. Now that's the MK Don's way.
That's the MK
Don's way. Slag a player off before he's kicked a ball for us.
In fact, I might even go on Facebook and slag him off in one of those groups if I can get a fucking word in, because he's not popular on them, is he?
So yeah, I mean, I think there will be.
So that means that Bowry's 5th then, and he's
well, but yeah, we didn't even mention Bowry. Yeah. We didn't even mention he's. I mean, he's either gone or he won't play again.
Yeah.
Because if he can't even get in a squad for a game that's made specifically to play people who are not in the squad's regular starting 11.
I mean, Russell did say in his post-match interview that he's not had a chance to really look at them like those, and that was the ideal game to do it. He did apologise, saying, that's why he put that team out last night, so he could have a better look at them, and every single one of them fucking failed.
Didn't he also say about signing this new boy, it's something to give him a bit of competition along with Sam, Healy, and who's the other one? There is another one. Oh, am I thinking of Brennan Dickinson? Do you know what? My mind has gone
Mason.
Mason! Fuck, how can we forget Mason? How can we forget Mason? There you go. So there is 5.
Actually 5th.
So 6. There's 6 in total.
6 strikers.
So
I reckon Kieran's 5th.
Didn't he say, it's good competition for Mason, Healy, and Sam? Did not mention Bowery.
He didn't mention Bowery at all.
No, didn't mention Bowery. Didn't mention Kieran either.
Yeah, that's a shame. I reckon they'll both go. I'd be surprised.
Yeah. So if
I should. Well, Kieran, he just signed a new contract, didn't he? I mean, but he's not. I don't know.
Well, if we could get money for him.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm ashamed of seeing. I'm good chums with Cags, and I love the fella, but. If we can get money for him,
I would take it. To be quite honest,
to be honest, at the moment he isn't getting enough ahead of those. At least 3 of those players.
He's not. Nah, he's certainly not getting ahead of Sam Nomby, and you wouldn't have said that. Before
he's definitely not getting in ahead of Healy.
No.
Or Sam, and the way Mason's been playing as well recently.
He's been great.
He's 4th he's 4th out of 6, and the other 2 players, one's just signed, so we can't really say, and the other one's definitely not going to play for us ever again. So I just think, I think you'll see maybe a few surprises, maybe some
do you think we need?
money saving.
What else do you think we need?
We're all right up top now. I think it's fair to say,
well,
barring further injuries.
6 strikers, we could play them all at once.
Barring further injuries,
that's what I'd do. I'd have the whole 6 of them.
We're in the same situation we were at the beginning of the season, where our centre backs. We've now got 4 players to play 2 positions, which is great for competition, particularly, they'll be wanting not just to play well, but they will be wanting to score goals, because that's what wins your matches.
My biggest worry, if I had a worry, would be if Nichols gets injured.
Yeah.
Because, bearing what you've just said a minute ago about last night, but what do you do? I don't know what you can do.
I've always thought buying second choice goalkeepers at this level is a huge lottery.
Yeah, because they'll be shit.
Because they generally will be number 2 goalkeepers.
Yeah, for a very good reason.
Yeah, and you're actually buying a second string goalkeeper as well.
Yeah.
Whereas in the Premiership, you're probably buying someone who's
good
first choice, good enough first choice to step in and play at any level.
At any level, yeah. But not at this level because they're not good enough.
So Ian
McLaughlin being the
fucking hell
being there.
That worries me. That worries me greatly.
Oh, we could get him back out of retirement.
Talking of Gillingham away, yeah.
Remember that? Oh, mate, that was an appalling day. It was a shit day. The old Gillingham game, wasn't it? They were all. Were you undercover or were you under one of those plastic rain hoods?
I was stood in the tunnel.
No, I mean the game just gone.
Oh, just gone. No, I was in the covered seating. Well, there are 250 seats, by the way, right? And we'd already gone past 250 tickets because they closed the scaffold due to safety reasons. Then, when they realised that they didn't have enough seats for all the Dons fans that were coming in, it suddenly became safe again to open.
Did they hand those poncho things out?
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
bags. God, bollocks to that.
Yeah, they handed the ponchos out, which was a nice touch, but the damage had already been done. I was sat by a post, and everybody in front of me or to my right was standing up. So in the first half, I couldn't see any of our attack because of my leg. I couldn't stand up.
It's a shit game. I mean, a shit ground to go to that as.
If
you're an away fan, it might be alright if you're a home fan.
And I deliberately got a ticket. I deliberately bought a ticket for the covered seating because I thought there'll be loads of room because all the
idiots will be in there.
Yeah, all the singers and all that will want to be standing up in the scaffold. I'll have the whole place to myself, and then get there and they tell us that the
inclement weather has closed.
It's been closed, yeah. So deemed unsafe until the seating we were in filled up, and then of course, literally 2 minutes after they opened it up again, it pissed down with rain for the rest of the entire game. So
we reckon that we're dodgy with goalkeepers, but Lee seems all right as a keeper.
Yeah, I mean, if we lost,
I
mean, I like the back. I like the four at the back.
Reeves' a worry for me, to be quite honest. I must admit, he's not come back anywhere near the level.
I did say this though at the beginning of the season. I thought it was a bad signing, not because he's a bad player, but because with his injury record and the way his head works.
What with that thatch he's had done?
With the thatch, no, knowing how he thinks and his mentality, he's quite a fragile person in terms of.
He's a confidence player, do you think?
I wouldn't say that. No, I would say that.
Like Johnny Williams, did you see that Sunderland documentary?
Johnny Williams is a perfect example. Yeah. Johnny Williams and Ben Breeze very, very similar. So when Johnny was with us, he spent a lot of time injured with us, and when he was in the team, he was 1,000%. He wanted the ball and he was chasing this and chasing. But when he was out injured, as you saw in that Sunderland thing, he was really down. He was really down. He was really depressed, and that's how it gets for players who have not just prolonged injuries but repeated and prolonged injuries.
It can't be good for you, can it? If
and so you're going out like
aspect of your job is to run about like an idiot.
Remember when Luke Chadwick came back after injury with us after a long, long time, and I used to stay with him in the afternoons. He was on his own in the gym, so I'd just go in and have a chat to him, and we'd do some head tennis or whatever. And his first training session, he came back 500 miles an hour, and he nearly took Dean Lewington off at the waist, which is quite an achievement. Louis saw him coming, and Luke just went straight past him, smashed into the barriers, because we were in the dome down at Wolverton on the Green, smashed into the barriers, and we're all like, calm down, it's your first training session, don't break yourself already. But that's the sort of player he was, and that's how Johnny Williams, that's what Johnny Williams was like. And Ben Reeves is like, I want to score, I want to do this, give me the ball, let me do this, let me do that. But for me, it wasn't a good signing because, I mean, Tisdale basically admitted the reason he signed him because he wouldn't fucking go away. He just kept turning up.
Is that why Gleeson keeps? He's just following Robo about.
Yeah, I did see him a photo of him in training with Oxford. Did I?
Yeah,
I think I did.
I don't think.
Well, that's no great surprise. I mean, he's just come back from a long injury.
Yeah.
He's going to see a familiar face.
I wouldn't have him here on Gleeson. I mean, I don't think that would be a good signing for us either, to be quite honest.
I don't know, what about him and Gilby together?
I don't think Gleeson is the player he was.
McGrandles is better than Gleeson.
He is now.
Yeah.
I mean, he isn't a better player, but he is a better player now, if you know what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's
and his prime.
That's coming up nicely as well.
Gleeson was a great player.
McGrandles, Gilby, David Kasuma's becoming a regular in that diamond.
It's just the fact that McRandles is so thin and so Scottish looking, isn't he?
He is. I mean,
it's the most Scottish looking bloke I've ever seen.
In the dictionary under Scottish there's a picture of
him.
Yeah.
He does look very slight,
but it's deceiving, and it deceived me. I'm more than happy to hold my hands up. I've said it many times. I thought he was too lightweight for English football.
But he's not.
Like Aidan Nesbitt and Robbie Muirhead, although he was a big lad, never had any meat on him.
No.
Never had any muscle definition or anything like that. But Connor's, it still doesn't appear to have any muscle definition, but he's made the step up and has done a really good job.
So speaking about idiots at playing in Scotland, what do you reckon to the Graham Dorrans rumour?
Well, when someone said Graham Dorrans,
everyone thought it was Aaron Dorran.
Everyone,
even I did, I must admit, but I was reading the thread.
Yeah, well, firstly, I have no idea who Graham Dorrans is.
He played for Rangers. He's Martin's mate.
Is he? Oh, right. I have no idea who he is. So I can't remember who tweeted that about him coming here. Because you had the fella that was tweeting about Kieran Agard going to Salford, didn't you? He's normally pretty accurate.
Right, okay.
But the twat actually put a photo up of Dylan rather than Kieran Agard on his tweet.
Oh, well,
he even had his fucking shorts on so you could see what number he was. But he still posted a picture of Dylan Asendonye rather than Kieran Agard.
A picture of Asgard like that bloke from the thing last year.
Yeah, 2 centre forwards. I don't know anything about him. Can you tell me anything?
I can tell you that.
And where does he play? What position is he?
He's a midfielder. I can't really remember him. I remember him when he was at Rangers. He was one of those names that was, forever, mentioned. But I mean, I think he's early 30s. I think not to wish, sort of decry Scottish football, but I think it would be a step down for him if he came to us, to be quite honest. But I mean, I think he'd be a good signing.
Yeah.
But
how old is he then? Is he?
I think he's 33.
Is he?
Something like that. I mean, I don't know what to say about that. Is that just Russell?
I think we're.
You're hoping it's no Russell Martin doing the old pals act.
There's always a concern, isn't it? That is always like we've said before with Martin Allen with his Johnny Hastings obsession.
That kind of thing.
Who's that other player? Oh, anyway, it doesn't matter. But yeah, I hope he doesn't have that element to him. But yeah, I think we're in for a few surprises from Russell Martin.
Well, I'd like to think so.
And
I think last night's made his mind up.
Well, I mean, it made his job a lot easier.
It did, sure. It really did. That's another. Looking on the bright side, I mean, those guys have played themselves out of a job, haven't they? To be quite honest,
there's no way that Baily Cargill at the moment in his frame of mind should be allowed anywhere near a football pitch.
I mean, who's going to sign them? Where would they go?
After that performance last night, Stuart Moore is not going to get anywhere.
He's not going to get. He's done as a footballer.
I don't think we'll necessarily get rid of Stuart Moore because, as you say, what are you going to replace him with?
You need someone.
You're going to replace him with a wheelie bin, possibly.
That would stay on its line, wouldn't it? It would. Unless it was a strong gust of wind. It would roll it about.
Yeah, I suppose it would just fall over.
It would do.
And it's more likely to save a shot if it was lying on its side in front of the goal rather than being 25 yards out.
Appalling
falling
thing
over.
To say about a guy. But
I'm sorry, but
you've taken against reserve goalkeepers.
Well, my whole thing is about not criticising players. That's my big thing. That's
I can think of 3 reserve goalkeepers that you've taken against. That American bloke whose name I can't even remember now.
Cody Cropper.
Old Irish mate we were talking about
McLaughlin, the tracksuit ripper, as I like to know.
Stuart Moore's getting it too.
Yeah. All right. So aside from second string goalkeepers, I have never gone to town on someone like I just did tonight with Baily Cargill.
Oh, that's a shame.
But honestly, John, I can't even begin to describe. You had to see it to see how bad he was.
There must be highlights available somewhere.
There must be, but it was the individual errors. I mean, that one, the pass back to the
Stuart Moore. By the way, if you do get to see it, Stuart Moore then actually tries to get to the ball, but instead of actually trying to kick the ball, he just gets his foot stuck in the floor and falls over. Honestly, it's hilarious. It really is bad.
That pitch was cutting up.
It was a bad pitch,
quickly.
but honestly, it was just that bad that I can't hold back anymore. That was, and I will apologise to anybody who says that you shouldn't be so tough on them. But I'm sorry, that was a match losing performance.
Yeah,
and for some some very poor finishing.
Concentrate your league now, Tony.
Well, exactly. Let's get on with it. Talking of which, so we have a couple of predictions. We've got 2 games coming up.
2 games coming up. I'm going Saturday.
So am I, and I'm going Tuesday to Burton as well.
I can't go there on that Tuesday.
Haven't found a way of getting there yet, but I'm sure. I'm finishing work at 1 o'clock.
Oh, you could get the coach, can't you?
I'm sure it can't be leaving much before 3 o'clock,
Well,
can
I
it?
thought so.
3 o'clock, 4 o'clock? I'm hoping, anyway. Well, it's definitely not going to be 1 o'clock, is it?
If only you were the kind of guy that had a look at the
If
contacts at the club.
only I had access to a computer at least,
Or
where I
even
could check
one of those
these things.
things.
I don't even know if tickets are on sale, because they weren't as of yesterday, I don't think.
Oh, really?
So. Because they didn't know if they'd have drawn in the FA Cup. The game on Tuesday would have been cancelled. So presumably they hadn't sent us the tickets.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have been able to send us the tickets till Monday. So the earliest we would have received the tickets would have been yesterday.
Right.
And then by the time they've sorted them out, counted them and allocated
today.
them onto the computer. So probably today.
So what do you reckon on Saturday then against Coventry?
I'm not doing any more predictions.
I reckon...
Because we should be losing, I think. But I'm not sure.
I reckon we'll win that 2-0. Because
Right,
they're very confident.
I was thinking to myself after the Bristol Rovers game that this has gone far too well. We've got to have a game where we revert back to type, or recent type, and get absolutely tonked. Now, I'm not really counting last night because it wasn't our first choice team.
I've written that off.
So, if we get tonked at Coventry on Saturday, I won't be disappointed too much because I think that's coming. Because our confidence, because
we're overconfident.
We may well have peaked in that first point of recovery.
No, I think we'll
imagine it as the fiscal cliff.
Yeah.
So you go up like that, you go whoa up there like that, and you think, oh shit, and you got to come back down again.
Yeah.
Then you start going up and you go back down again. You keep going up and down.
No, I'm
up
confident
and
for Saturday. I must admit, I really am. I reckon we will put our first team out, obviously.
I mean, based on the Portsmouth and Bristol Rovers performances,
if we play half as good as we played against either of those two,
however, Coventry are on a good run and they've got an extremely good home record, if you can call it a home.
Yeah.
Playing in front of 300 fans in a different city altogether. I suppose it's better than Northampton, isn't it?
Yeah, at least I've got a completely enclosed ground.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to predict 2-0 because that's what I do.
Thing. No, I'm genuinely think we'll win. I'm looking forward to it. I think we've sold about 600 tickets, which for us is all right.
Yes,
it's not far, is it?
I know that they were trying to get a load more to Gillingham, which didn't happen. But yes, there are still a lot of people to come back for the away games. But having said that, our away attendances are regularly in the top 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Away game.
I mean, you've got other clubs, haven't you, like Portsmouth and Sunderland that are bound
they'll always be up there.
And Ipswich,
they'll always be up there. But if we can compete with the one town, one club fans, the clubs like who have a decent away. I mean, even Bristol Rovers wasn't too bad.
Have a good away following. I don't know because I only ever see them coming here where they always bring a load.
But Peterborough, the worst place in Britain to live. You mean?
Is it really?
Got voted first place to live.
I was working there this time last year. It wasn't great.
And out of the top 10, 7 of the 10 were in Yorkshire.
Oh dear.
Including Harrogate, Doncaster.
Yeah, those places are all crap.
Huddersfield. Rochdale was there.
So what do you reckon then for Burton?
Burton. Tuesday night away from home.
Oh, I reckon we'll lose that.
I'm going 1-0. Let's just get on the coach and come back home.
You reckon? Yeah, I think... I won't be happy with a draw, but...
If we can get 4 points in any combination from these two games,
that's a good return for us.
I'll take that.
Because they're 2 away games, aren't they? Quite close back to back. It's not ideal, is it?
Plus, have we still technically got a game in hand?
on a few above us. I'm not sure if we have.
Well, everyone's played half a season,
we've played 24. So actually, Tranmere have actually got a game in hand on us. And no, there is no one else that has a game on us other than Shrewsbury, who are 15th. So Tranmere have. Bolton have got.
Yeah, the Berry thing's been
3 in go.
Up now, wasn't it? With half a season.
Yeah, Bolton are actually only 2 points behind Southend now. So they've scored.
Oh right.
They've actually scored 3 more points.
I was
than us
reading
this
tonight
season.
somewhere that.
Did you hear that?
What's that? Sorry?
Bolton, despite their
12-point
minus
deduction.
28 goal difference, they've actually accumulated in total a net 27 points this season, which is 3 more than us.
Blimey.
Yeah. So
they had a guy recalled, didn't they? They had someone on loan, so he's been recalled. So they've signed no one at the minute then.
Yeah.
So
did we do a prediction? Oh, I said 1-0 for Burton, didn't I?
Yeah, I said I'd be happy to get anything out of that.
So anything else to say?
I don't think so. That's it.
No, I
had some emails about some pizza thing, but it was so annoying I didn't read it.
Yeah, Paul Harris wondering if the deal for pizza at the now to be called Doughboy Dome came about due to communication error. Pete thought Papa John was the agent for a new Italian striker called Pepperoni, as they say in Italy, Felice Anno Nuovo.
As we see in Stony Stratford, must do better with your jokes, mate, because that wasn't very funny.
That's not funny.
No.
And then he sent another one about the 10 rules of football when you were a kid.
Did he? I've not read that.
All of which are actually true. Fattest one is always the goalie.
That's true.
The match only ends when everyone is tired. No matter how many goals you've scored, the winner is always determined by next goal wins. If you're picked last, you've got no hope in life. And getting the football stuck under a car is the most stressful part of life. And when the owner of the football gets pissed off, it's game over. So when I was a kid, right?
These are all rules.
That is actually true.
They are all
rules.
rules.
That is actually true, right? But
and I must have lived 400 miles away from where you live.
Why did we only have
one
mate who had one ball? Because I'm pretty sure I had footballs.
I can't
but
remember.
You never. You know,
I was never particularly
I suppose
good
you
at
just
football.
turned up and knew that someone would have a ball.
I was crap at it, to be quite honest. I was the last guy to be picked. I was rubbish
I can remember playing on the Tinkers Bridge roundabout with Blair Scriven as well, who could kick the ball the length of this roundabout.
Wow!
I mean, it must have been at least 30 metres long. This, I mean, he had for a 7-year-old, he had a kick and a half on him.
He is right there with his things, old me.
He is, yeah.
Well, I think I'm done now. I'm tired.
Yeah, I need to sleep because my throat is killing me. I've got
it's 9 o'clock now.
There you go.
Dog's not barked, so I'm pleased with that scenario.
So we don't really need your match reports, but if you do want to send us them, mkdonsradioshow@gmail.com. If you want to be a guest, then we say it all the time, but we do want more of you to come on, and we will try and get. Who did we say? Well, we'll try and get the press boys on.
Yes.
We'll get the press boys on.
Get them on.
I spoke to Toby. Toby's up for a chat at some point.
Yeah.
I'll try and get hold of Luke as well. And also, you asked about Dean Bowditch, didn't you? Who I saw.
Ah, right.
I saw at the Bristol Rovers game, but forgot to ask him if he fancied coming on. But anyway, if you want to come on, please do, because we want your opinion.
Keep sending your emails, even if they're shit like that last one.
Yeah. Send those emails. I mean, he redeemed himself a bit with the rules of
football.
He did.
He redeemed himself, but he let himself down badly with his initial.
Yeah,
email.
very much so. So yes, that's it. Thank you very much. mkdonsradioshow@gmail.com. Give us a shout.
Yep, we'll see you next week. Shit thing to get for Christmas, but there you go. What can you say?